So, welcome. Today I just want to do a video. It seems to be in more places than just CNN, but I'm going to use their article and video that they just made about eating red meat and its link to type 2 diabetes. So, again, this is just another scare tactic to try to get us off meat. So, when you look at the article, right, it talks about a serving of red meat is usually 3 ounces, which I just find fabulous because I eat for dinner typically a 16 to 24 ounce ribeye steak. So I'm sure I'm just on death's door at this point, according to them. But they do relate it to 2 slices of bacon, which is funny because they always want to use bacon as a processed meat. It's cured. Like it's thinly sliced and it's cured, so I'm not sure the ultra processing there, but 1.5 slices of bologna or 1 hot dog, which they just take whatever part of the animal, they ground it up, they put in some salt, preservatives, and they, sleeve it, and there you go. So again, I think that's just another one of their little scare tactics that they like to use. And then it says that they found that an extra daily serving of processed red meat on average was associated with a 1.6-year acceleration in brain aging. I would have been more interested if it was a 10-year acceleration. But a 1.6-year acceleration, that's like the research that they found statins, if you've already had a heart attack, might give you 4 days. Like, really? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other things that you can do besides dropping the red meat to increase your cognitive length and ability over time and not succumb to Alzheimer's or dementia. So, next they say that reducing red meat consumption could, that's an important word because it could also be could not or may not, have many positive impacts, right? So on your heart, I can't believe they're still on this one, the red meat and heart disease, right? The Framingham study back in, I think it was 1958, disproved that. So get off that bandwagon. The environment, bullshit. We use regenerative farming here in Idaho, and that land is so healthy, right? The cows go and they piss and shit all over the crops, and then they till it and they grow, and the soil looks really good. Now, I'm not a chemist. I haven't gone out and sampled it and all that, but I can tell you that from the fields I've seen being burnt with a yellow smoke, that's not good for the environment. So don't buy that one. And then it maybe even on long-term cognitive health. Maybe. Possible. Yeah, a lot of things are possible, but not probable. And I was fascinated, though, that in the CNN article, it did say that according to this individual, a professor of nutrition and food science at the University of Reading in the UK, did say that this study does not prove that eating red meat causes type 2 diabetes. So I actually appreciated the fact that they spoke the truth, because it doesn't. And so to break this down, what they did was they referenced the Women's Health Study. Okay, so I thought, okay, fine, I'll find the Women's Health Study. So I found this from 2004. So again, this isn't new information. They didn't just finish a randomized controlled trial with actual meat eaters, right? People like me, where 97% of my nutrition is animal. Right? These are sad dieters, most likely. They typically are in all the research I've seen. So what is it and what did it say? So the design and method, right? Over an 8.8 years, they evaluated about 37,000 participants, right? Over 45 years of age. Then they completed semi-quantitative food frequency questionnaires. I don't know if you've ever looked at a food frequency questionnaire, but they're horrible. Right? They are not valid. They ask people what they've eaten in X amount of time, whether it's 6 months, a year, 2 years, 4 years, and then they try to make sense of it. And it's highly flawed. People typically underplay the bad food they're eating, and they overplay the good food that they're eating. And so I don't hold much stock in that. So what were the results of the Women's Health Study? Well, here you go. The big interest for me is about in the middle. So looking at diabetes and the risk ratio, right? So risk ratio 1 is a nunner. Okay. This risk ratio is 1.28 for red meat and 1.23 for processed meat, which is pretty close to a nunner, right? In relative, if you want to compare it, if you look at the studies they did between lung cancer and smoking, the risk ratio for that was between 10 and 30, right? When they looked at another women's health study for the risk ratio for cardiovascular disease, if you're type 2 diabetic, your risk ratio is 10.71. So this is under 1.3 for both of them. So this is a nunner. This does not show causation of red meat causing diabetes. It doesn't even come close. Okay, so then what did the other article, the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study, say? Honestly, I was not able to find the actual results from the study. If you have them, if you've seen them, if you know where they're at, by all means, throw a link in the comments. I would be fascinated to see it. But what was it, right? So it was created to evaluate a series of hypotheses, right, about how nutritional factors affect men, right, and how it correlates to serious illness and disease. They had nearly 20,000 active participants. And this is the part I found fascinating. When we're talking about those food questionnaires, every 4 years, participants receive a questionnaire that asks for detailed dietary information. 4 years, unless you're writing this down every day and using a food scale and keeping immaculate records, you would have no idea how much red meat or anything else that you ate quantitatively. And so both of these are not showstoppers, right? They do not show a link between type 2 diabetes and eating red meat. And on the contrary, if you look at the consumption of red meat over the years, the consumption of red meat has gone down quite a bit. And yet look at the instances of any disease. Anyone out there, pick one. And it has gone up exponentially. So if red meat is the problem, why is all the diseases going up even though the consumption is going down? That makes literally no sense whatsoever. So this is just another phishing. This is just another scare tactic, just another attempt by some way out there vegan, right, or group of vegans. It's not all vegans, right? Because I believe a lot of vegans are like me, and we have our ideology, and we believe what we believe, and you can believe it or not, and either way we're good with it. But these extremist vegans have infiltrated the medical field, the research departments, the universities. And they are providing crap like this that has no causation link to say, see, that's why you should be plant-based. See, that's why you should get off of meat. And it is just an entire lie. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. I cannot stand a lack of integrity. And these people, the way that they just blindly spew this crap without looking at it. I mean, just look at the study. It shows you the risk ratio. It shows you it's a nunner. So don't make it something it's not. The fact is the fact, and that's all that it is. And so when you look at these articles, don't just take the header and be like, see? Because when you look into it, you'll find out how false it is. And in this case, it's just a blatant lie. So do what you want with the information. I just had to get that out there, that it's another attempt to try to just lie to the world, the American people, right, to keep us unhealthy. So I'm going to keep eating red meat. I'm going to keep eating a lot of it. And I'm an N of one, and we'll see where it goes. So I hope this video helps something. It helps somebody at least to understand that you need to look at the entirety of the research and not just the title or the abstract. So with that, I wish you a blessed day.